Hey Patriots, Jenny here. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I'll show you in a video maybe tomorrow, maybe not, what I got for Christmas, which I'm really excited about. So my friend Haas Duggar asked if I would do another video. I've kind of been radio silent for the last couple weeks in the spirit of baby Jesus and Santa Claus. And honestly, because there's just so much going on, it's really hard to cover it. So he calls this the JNN, the Jenny News Network, and said he always feels better after he watches one of my videos, and I'm super grateful because that is my intention. So today, all day long, there was a big congressional hearing in Georgia regarding their voter fraud issues. It's especially concerning considering they have their Georgia congressional runoff on January 5th, using all the same flawed voter stuff that they used in the November 3rd election. So some really huge bombshells came out. There's a guy whose last name is Pulitzer. I think his name is Johann Pulitzer, who is a IT super geek kind of guy. And he, while they were in this Georgia congressional hearing that he testified at, he hacked into a polling location that is currently live in Georgia because of their runoff, and hacked into it and proved that they do have, yes, Wi-Fi connected, which is not supposed to be connected. Yes, you can transfer data, which you're not supposed to be able to. And yes, you can have outside actors involved in your election. And those are all things that the Dominion people have denied being possible to happen. So that was a huge bombshell, and did it live in front of everybody at the congressional hearing. It was nuts. Another big thing that came out, Gateway Pundit has a story about it, is proof that Brad Raffensperger, who is the Georgia Secretary of State, has had ballots printed differently for conservative counties versus Democratic counties. The conservative counties had a barcode. The Democratic counties did not have a barcode, which would be much easier to mass produce. And the conservative county ballots also had a little thing at the bottom that the Dominion voting software is supposed to read that was messed up that would automatically trigger that ballot for adjudication. So over the entire country, usually mass numbers for adjudication on a ballot, meaning if there's something wrong, if for some reason the machine won't read it, if the signature doesn't match, if whatever, right? We can't tell if you filled out this circle and put an X through it and then filled out this circle. Whatever the reason is that a ballot gets adjudicated, historically, the highest numbers that we've ever had have been like 2% across the entire country. Georgia is like over 90%. 90% of the ballots were adjudicated. It's amazing. They finally, in this hearing, started calling for people's heads. And I just personally want to say that I would love to go to a public hanging of any one of these traitors of our country. I would be willing to travel to Guantanamo to go to a public hanging. I think all we need is one public hanging, and then people will start acting right. Kind of like it would be useful if we still had the firing squad for the death penalty. Different things like that. You know what I'm talking about. So we shall see if there will be a public hanging in our future, because it is still considered a valid form of death for treason. And actually many other crimes, treason, sedition, all kinds of stuff. So something that's super important, and I hope you guys are aware of, is President Trump has now tweeted 4 times. He tweeted again today to go to DC on January 6th. The president has never asked us to show up before. He has never said, come to my rally. He has never said, be there. And this is the 4th time now that he has tweeted that all the Patriots are supposed to be in DC on January 6th. So naturally, I bought tickets the first time he tweeted it, once I realized that he has never asked us to do that. And there's a website called wildprotest.com because President Trump said that it would be wild. And so a lot of people are signing up on that. There are caravans, very organized caravans coming from Tennessee, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania that are caravanning down to DC. I know at least 5 people that I'm friends with on Facebook that are going to DC on January 6th. And my friend Eliel, my Patriot fighter friend, is also going to DC on January 6th. So if you can come, please come. If you cannot come, please go to your state capital, because January 6th, and this, Haas, is where I hope you take so much hope away from this little chat tonight. January 6th is going to be a showdown, an absolute showdown. There are so many options that are still available to us. The mainstream media wants you to believe that it's over and that now President Trump is somehow trying to usurp democracy, which is just an absolute load of mainstream media crap again, because he hasn't even exercised everything that he has the constitutional authority to do. There's tons of options out there. So on January 6th, Vice President Pence is considered the president of the Senate, and he will be opening all of the Electoral College votes and tallying them. So a couple exciting things about that. First of all, it is illegal, okay, against the law, for those of you in Rio Linda, is what that means. It is illegal for Vice President Pence to accept electoral votes from a state that was fraudulently certified. Cue the 7 swing states, okay? Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Okay? Wait, is that 6? I don't know. 6 or 7, okay? So he could just throw them flat out. He could absolutely do that. The other thing that is very highly likely is 7 of these states sent dueling electors. So the electors that were appointed by the state, like the governor, things like that, the Republican or Democrat parties of the state, most of them are voting for Biden. But after this massive amount of voter fraud and all of the information and the thousands and thousands of signed affidavits and the statistical anomalies and the mathematicians that are involved and on and on and on, the state legislatures, who actually by constitutional authority have the ability to send their own electors, did. So there are 7 states with dueling electors. And those new electors, who also went and voted on that day, are the ones who voted for President Trump. So it is possible that if Pence throws out these states because they fraudulently certified their election results, then that would, I think what they're saying is that would make it to where President Trump has 232 electoral college votes and Beijing Biden has 222, in which case President Trump wins. Or Pence could decide to just accept the dueling electors, in which case President Trump wins by way more than 270. There's so many options. And there's this rumor going around that Pence isn't going to do the right thing. Attorney Lynn Wood, who is working on all the Dominion stuff with Sidney Powell and all the Kraken stuff, He has put out that he believes that Pence is compromised and that he is not a true patriot. I've always liked the guy. I think he's a great Christian. I think he is a conservative. He has done a fantastic job by President Trump. Been a fantastic VP. So I don't think that he's going to somehow F this all up. I really don't. So I wouldn't worry about that. As far as DC goes, so Antifa got to one of the hotels called the Harrington, which happens to be over Harry's Restaurant, which is the known conservative hangout in DC, and also happens to be where the Proud Boys tend to congregate. The Proud Boys are great. I can't wait to march with them again for the third time now in DC. And Antifa got to them, and the hotel decided to close for January 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, the days that we would be there. And also Harry's Restaurant has decided to close. So now the Antifa people think that they've got some kind of stroke and are calling for all these other hotels to refuse Trump supporters. There's also this rumor out that the mayor's going to shut down the city, which that rumor has been present every single time. In the November Million MAGA March that I went to, in the December Million MAGA March that I did not go to, that I should have been at, and then of course also on January 6th, there's always this threat that the liberal whack job Muriel Browser is going to shut down DC. And so now they're telling everybody to bring enough food and water and blah, blah, blah. But quite honestly, if you've ever been around a million people, there is no way to get into a restaurant anyway. So you should bring your own food and water no matter what, and we all just live off of power bars and beef jerky for a couple days and have a wonderful time. If all of the hotels for some reason threaten to cancel, then people have already said we're going to camp out at the Capitol, because guess what? It's our capital. So I've never been camping, never had any intention of going camping. It sounds wretched, but I will do anything for my country. So I might wind up camping out with a million other people at the steps at the Capitol, which sounds like fun. There's so many options right now. Like, I really, for people that actually care enough to do research and find out what is really going on, not just what mainstream media is telling you, I don't know how anybody could lose hope. I really don't. We have got this sucker in the bag. In the bag. And it's going to come out on January 6th. Just get your popcorn ready. I'm telling you. Just take the day off, get your popcorn ready, and maybe like some breakfast beer or something, and turn the TV on and start watching the shit show, because it's going to be epic. And I'm going to be there for it. Okay, so usually in a big crowd, everybody's trying to get online, and so the signal crashes. So I'll probably just have to record a bunch of videos and then post them as I get signal, because I'm in Facebook jail again on my new page for posting a tweet that the Ayatollah of Iran actually tweeted that said that they were going to attack America. And I mentioned it in a live and then posted the picture in the comments of that tweet that did not get flagged by Twitter because it doesn't go against their community standards, obviously. And Facebook put my new account in jail that I had to create because this account is in jail, right? So whatever. Big tech is ridiculous. As far as the defense bill and the $600 or $2,000 for American citizens and the spending pork and all of that, here's what I have to say about that, okay? Almost every single elected Republican representative or senator fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. They are absolute swamp creatures. They're swamp creatures that should be destroyed, that should be voted out. It is obnoxious. And I could throw every single one of ours under the bus except for Ted Cruz, because he has proven time and time again that he will vote against this stuff. Mitch McConnell is a pile of shit. So is Lindsey Graham. Oh my gosh, between the two of them, wow. They might as well be Mitt Romney, okay? I want you to know that Dan Crenshaw, you need to watch out for, because that guy isn't done with his political career. And for some reason, people think he's cool because he used to be in the military and he's got an eye patch like Popeye, okay? You need to watch out for him. He is for red flag laws, which any form of gun control is unconstitutional, right? Like, I asked for a tank for Christmas. I didn't get a tank for Christmas. I want a functional tank for Christmas, which I don't think that you're allowed to have. Why? Because somebody decided that U.S. citizens didn't need to bear arms in that way, right? Same reason we can't have fully automatic weapons, same reason why you can't have drum clips on everything, or bump stocks, President Trump, or on and on and on. Any form of gun control is against the Second Amendment. That's it. That's why I like to do videos in front of my giant gun safe that I'm super proud of. It's a staple in my living room. And I need to put a little doily on top of it, you know, and a lamp or something to make it kind of blend in, because I'm a doily kind of girl. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. But yes, our elected officials are trash. They're complete trash. And if you're still shocked at this point, then you have not been paying attention. Dan Crenshaw voted for that $900 billion pork spending bill that only gave $600 to American citizens that have been dealing with this crap for the last 10 months, and instead gave, what was it, $17 million to Pakistan for gender studies. Are you kidding me? And $1 billion to the Smithsonian, which has been shut down all year. And many, many more millions of dollars to the Kennedy Center, which also got money in the first one. So who's sleeping with who at the Kennedy Center is what I'd like to know. And all of these countries that have never in the history of ever given America a dime. And we've got $900 billion worth of foreign aid. Do you think that we would have national debt if we just quit doing this shit? If we'd quit sending taxpayer money overseas to countries that do not care about us and at the very least hate us because we're the lone superpower of the universe, do you really think we'd still have national debt? Because I don't. But instead, all of our elected officials, except for Ted Cruz, on that bill at least, decided that that was okay. Decided it was okay. It's amazing. And they're trying to pat themselves on the back for giving Americans $600. I mean, they have not missed a single paycheck for 10 months. Not a one. Not a one. Because for some reason, they are considered essential. So they keep getting paid by us. They keep being employed by us. And they keep screwing us over and stabbing us in the back every single turn that they get. I'm glad that President Trump vetoed the defense bill, as he should have. Section 230 is a national security issue. Mitch McConnell, who is a snake and a swamp rat, has since proposed, I think it was yesterday, if today's Wednesday, yesterday, Mitch McConnell, old Cocaine Mitch, which you should look up that story if you don't know it because it's hilarious, has proposed a new bill that would give Americans $2,000 apiece, and also in Section 230, and then talking about not having so much pork in our spending bills and blah, 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 right? Come on, y'all. It's insane. Our only hope is that President Trump gets 4 more years. And I can tell you, I believe 110% that he will, and that's on a 100% scale, okay? No matter what, President Trump is going to win. No matter what. So just watch what the mainstream media is going to do. This is when I say be prepared. I mean, be prepared for all options and all outcomes. Because the mainstream media, we have already seen, is working against us. And they will do everything that they can to incite fear and violence and rioting and say that the president's usurping democracy and all of this crap. And our country is at stake. Our country is at stake. So, needless to say, I would like to do a little plug for this. If you have not seen this, New American Magazine. Look at that. Christianity Today, Surviving the Woke Church. I'd love to mention all the woke churches that are in Midland, Texas right now that no longer actually preach what is in the Bible. But, you know, I tend to beat up on the preachers a lot, and I should, and they deserve it. So if you are not aware, the New American is a publication by the John Birch Society. The John Birch Society are the true conservatives. And they've been around for, I don't know, it's like 80 years, I think. They have been fighting communism since day one. They don't care if you are a Democrat or a Republican. They will go after you either way, as we all should, if you are not doing what it is that you said that you would do and not representing your constituents or in any possible way enabling communism. So when I found the John Birch Society earlier this year, I quit every Republican organization that I was part of. I quit the Midland County Republican Women's Group. I quit the Young Republicans. I quit the Texas State Republicans. I quit the National Republican Party. And I quit the Republican National Hispanic Assembly that I had also joined to support the new chapter in Midland. So that's 5, okay? 5 Republican groups that I have wasted my time and my money on for years. Years. Because the Republicans get in office and they do the exact same thing that the Democrats do. And in my opinion, it's worse. Because Democrats at least tell you they're going to take away your freedoms and your liberties and your rights and your money. And Republicans don't. They tell you everything that you want to hear while they're campaigning in order to raise money. And then they turn around and they stab you in the back. And they take away your rights and your freedoms and your liberties and your money. So, I mean, in case y'all haven't gotten the memo yet, I'm done with the party. And there seem to be quite a few people that are done with the old GOP. The grand old party may have reached its end. And there's a lot of talk of a new party starting. The MAGA party is an option, or the Patriot Party is an option. And I hope that whichever one it is that takes off, takes off. Because the GOP has failed us. I mean, it's obnoxious. It's absolutely disgusting what it is that Republicans have done to stab President Trump in the back and to stab all of us in the back. But because they're Republicans, we keep voting for them because anything's better than a Democrat, which is true. But not if the Republican's going to act just like a Democrat. Then it's not. It's not at all. So anyway, that was a little tirade to say, I hope that you will join the John Birch Society if you would like to be my guest. They meet the second Thursday of each month at Midland Country Club for lunch. And I would be more than happy to pay your lunch to come and join us and see what you think about hanging out with the actual true conservatives. So I will do another video regarding my Christmas presents and goal setting and just a general end of year wrap up. Because I don't know about you, But I had a fantastic 2020. A fantastic 2020. I have basically become a freedom activist full-time. I've helped organize at least 7 different protester rallies this year. I've got a megaphone, which is cool. And been to DC twice already. I mean, it's just been nuts. So I will do a video either tomorrow or the next day about goal setting and how important it is. And I'm sure a couple more bombs will drop in the news by then. So needless to say, I love you guys, and I sure hope that you had a fantastic Christmas. I hope you defied all orders and advice of this massively overblown, organized only to control you, China virus tyranny, and went and hung out with all of your families and hugged and kissed on everybody that you love. So anyway, signing off. Bye, Patriots.